December 25, 2024, Gulf of Finland. A ship's anchor drops into the dark water and begins scraping across the seabed. Above it, nothing looks unusual. The tanker keeps moving. Minutes later, a power cable between Finland and Estonia goes silent. This is the story of the EstLink 2 cable damage. EstLink 2 is not a normal power line. It does not hang from towers. It does not cross fields or roads. It sits underwater, stretched across the Gulf of Finland, connecting two electricity systems that depend on each other more than most people ever see. The cable runs between Finland and Estonia. Its full route is about 170 kilometers or 106 miles. Most of that is submarine cable. Its capacity is 650 megawatts. On a normal day, that is enough electricity to matter. On Christmas Day, it matters a lot. The connection disconnects from the grid shortly after noon. The Finnish and Estonian grid operators begin investigating immediately. At first, the cause is unclear. A technical failure is possible. Undersea cables fail, saltwater pressure, currents, manufacturing defects, bad joints. The sea is not gentle infrastructure, but this is the Baltic Sea in 2024. 2 years earlier, the Nord Stream pipelines exploded under the same broad region. In 2023, the Baltic gas pipeline between Finland and Estonia was damaged. In November 2024, 2 telecom cables in the Baltic were cut. Each case had its own facts, its own ships, its own unanswered questions, but the pattern was becoming hard to ignore. Then EstLink 2 goes down on Christmas. At first, Finland says its electricity supply is still secure. The lights do not go out, the grid keeps working, but the cross-border capacity between Finland and Estonia is sharply reduced. The smaller EstLink 1 remains in service. EstLink 2 does not. That leaves a strange problem. Nothing dramatic happens in people's homes. No city goes dark, no power plant explodes, yet at the bottom of the Gulf of Finland, a piece of European infrastructure has been physically severed, and nearby is a tanker called Eagle S. Eagle S is registered in the Cook Islands. It is carrying fuel. Finnish authorities believe it is linked to the Russian Shadow Fleet, a loose network of aging tankers used to move Russian oil around sanctions. These ships often sail under distant flags. Their ownership can be opaque. Their routes are ordinary on paper and politically radioactive in practice. The Eagle S had crossed over the EstLink 2 cable at the same time the outage began. That one fact changes the story. The next day, Finnish authorities move. A Finnish Coast Guard crew boards the Eagle S. They take command. The tanker is sailed into Finnish waters. The ship is now under the control of Finnish authorities southeast of Porkala. At a press conference, the Finnish National Bureau of Investigation says it is investigating grave sabotage. The director says that, according to their understanding, an anchor from the vessel under investigation caused the damage. The phrase is careful. It is not a conviction. It is not yet proof of intent, but it is specific. An anchor did this. Take a look at how simple that is. A modern undersea cable can cost tens of millions to repair. It can require specialized vessels, calm weather windows, trained crews, spare cable, underwater cutting, lifting, jointing, testing. It can sit buried or exposed across a seabed where no human can simply walk over and inspect it. But a ship's anchor is old technology. Heavy steel, chain, gravity, drag. If it falls and the vessel keeps moving, the anchor becomes a plow. Investigators later find a track on the seabed. It stretches for dozens of kilometers. Reports from the prosecution later describe the anchor being dragged for about 90 kilometers or 56 miles. Along that path, it crosses infrastructure that was never built to be scraped by a giant hook. EstLink 2 is not the only casualty. 4 telecom lines are also damaged or broken. Some link Finland and Estonia, one links Finland and Germany. Backups prevent wider service failures, but the message is not subtle. A ship does not need a missile to hit a cable. Photos of Eagle S show the portside anchor missing. Authorities focus on the anchor system later. The court record describes the anchor securing mechanism failing. Prosecutors allege that the crew knew enough about the ship's poor anchor equipment and failed to act when the vessel slowed and its engine load changed. The crew denies wrongdoing. This is important. The case is not as clean as a spy novel. Finnish prosecutors later say they do not necessarily believe someone deliberately dropped the anchor in the dark to cut cables. Their case is built around intention, negligence, awareness, and duty. A failure to stop, a failure to check. A failure that dragged steel across the seabed for almost 90 kilometers. That sounds less cinematic. It may also be more frightening, because sabotage requires a saboteur. Negligence requires only a bad ship. A bad watch, a bad incentive, and a route over something important. Eagle S is part of a larger problem that had been building for years. Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022 changed the Baltic Sea. Finland and Sweden moved into NATO. Sanctions reshaped oil transport. The Baltic became a dense corridor of energy, surveillance, war planning. Commercial shipping and political pressure. Underneath it all is a hidden map, power cables, data cables. Gas pipelines, fiber routes, interconnectors, they cross the seabed like veins. Most people only notice them when they stop working. The system is built on the assumption that thousands of ships can pass above them every year, and almost none of them will behave badly. That assumption was now under stress. After the EstLink 2 damage, Estonia sends its navy to protect EstLink 1. The remaining power link, NATO says it will increase its presence in the Baltic Sea. Sweden increases surveillance. Governments talk about shadow fleets, hybrid warfare, maritime law, and critical infrastructure. But protecting an undersea cable is not like protecting a building. A cable is long, the sea is wide. A suspicious ship can be ordinary until the moment it is not. A tanker can claim mechanical failure. A crew can claim it did not notice. A flag state can be thousands of miles away. An illegal case can collapse on the distance between territorial waters and an exclusive economic zone. That is exactly where the Eagle S case becomes strange. Finland charges the captain and 2 officers in August 2025. They are accused of aggravated criminal mischief and aggravated interference with communications. The defendants deny the charges. They also argue that Finland does not have jurisdiction because the alleged acts happened outside Finnish territorial waters. The trial opens in Helsinki. On one side is the damage, 5 cables broken or damaged. At least 60 million euros in repair costs alleged by prosecutors. Months of repair work, a region on alert. On the other side is maritime law. The Helsinki District Court later dismisses the case, not because the anchor did not fall. Not because the cables were not damaged. The court says Finnish criminal law could not be applied in this case. The incident happened in international waters within Finland's exclusive economic zone. And the court treats it as an incident of navigation under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. In simpler terms, the court says Finland may be the place that felt the damage, but not the place allowed to prosecute it. The judgment is not final. Finland's Deputy Prosecutor General files a notice of appeal. The case moves toward the Helsinki Court of Appeal. By then, the physical cable is already fixed. Repairing EstLink 2 takes months. Offshore work begins in May. A roughly 1-kilometer section of damaged submarine cable is replaced. Tests begin in June, on June 20th. 2025, EstLink 2 is expected to return to commercial use. A damaged object gets repaired, a legal question does not. That is the uncomfortable part of this story. If this was sabotage, it exposed a vulnerability. if it was reckless seamanship. It exposed the same vulnerability. The cable does not care about motive. Electricity does not care about jurisdiction. The seabed does not preserve intent as neatly as a courtroom wants it to. There is also the problem of scale. Europe is not connected by one cable. It is connected by thousands. Some carry power, some carry internet traffic. Some connect stock exchanges, hospitals, data centers, ports, military networks, and ordinary people trying to make a phone call. They are strong enough to survive the sea. They are not strong enough to survive every anchor, so governments begin looking for answers. More patrols, more surveillance, more sanctions, better tracking, faster repairs, tougher rules for vessels. But every answer runs into the same geometry. The infrastructure is below, the ships are above, the law is somewhere in between. The Eagle S keeps its place in the middle of that gap, a ship under a distant flag, a missing anchor. A line carved across the seabed, a power cable out for half a year, a court saying the damage was real. But the case could not be tried there, and that is where the story refuses to end, because EstLink 2 came back online. The repairs held, the electricity flowed again between Finland and Estonia, but somewhere in the Baltic. The next cable is already lying in the dark, waiting under another shipping lane, and above it, the anchors keep moving.